My name is Tomi Mölsä, and I'm working as a senior advisor in Samlink. And it's absolutely fantastic to be here. Thank you for being here as well. It's going to be a blast, as Paul stated. My presentation is shortly and bluntly future of payments, and how we have been this whole room is basically filled with payments professional. So it would be there is no point for me to address how important payments are, but still to give a frame to the presentation itself. I would like to state that the payments are the bloodline of economy. Regardless, are you buying a cup of tea for yourself, or are we doing an international trade of some kind? The payment transaction is always there. Without the payment transaction and without the bloodline of payments, there is basically no modern economy as we know it. When we think about how the payments have been evolving, concerning, for example, foreign trade. When you think about foreign trade, 150 years ago, it was mostly done using cash or gold, practically. And now, when you think about how foreign trade is handled today, there is transaction banking offices here and there in every basically bank, taking care of reimbursements and making all the collaterals and making it truly happen. And when you think about consumer payments, how it was done in 40 years ago, for example, in Finland, I would say that most of the payment transactions from consumer to different sort of actors were done by cash. And 40 years ago, in Finland, we started to use plastic, and bit by bit, the electronic money has eaten out the cash. So basically, the point is, regardless of time frame, the payments are always evolving faster, and sometimes slower, but they are evolving bit by bit. And what is basically taking us forward, they are not evolving in a vacuum of some kind, or there is no such a person or a place where payments are evolving. They are evolving by weak and strong signals that we are able to hear today. The signals are there in the news, or the signals are there in the newspapers, or they are something that somebody said somewhere. For example, concerning a weak signal that we just heard not too long ago was, for example, a study in Sweden stating that people under 25 trust more in the brand of Apple than in big commercial banks. Or concerning strong signals, one could say that there is a quantum computing that actually works, and we know it. And also concerning strong signals that we can hear and see is that there is more and more people in Europe that has not born in Europe. These are signals that you are able to read here and there, and what we have been doing in Samlink in order to gather out, to make the vision of what is going to happen. We have been analyzing all these signals that you can get here and there, and you can see with the plain sight, basically everywhere. And we have basically made 3 different segments out of those signals that we hear, that we all hear, and we can all see. And those are the signals of today, basically trends of today, that we know that exist, that we are all aware in this room that we should put some effort on it on daily basis or on weekly basis at least. And then there is trends of near future, which basically outlines that there is already a technology on it, and it will happen in a matter of 5 years, so we state. And then there is basically what we call megatrends. They're trends that we can see already, but we just don't know how they possibly will affect on payments. So basically, as stated, current trends, for example, regulatory changes, we know that they are there already. Demand for speed, security, ESG are something that we're talking about all the time. People are talking about all the time, and we are all aware of those. They are things that will take place in a matter of near future. Going to the 5-year trend and actually the upcoming things that we already have the IT capabilities to deliver, for example, biometric authentication and ecosystems shall prevail as well. But I was thinking of first, like running this through from the mega trends to current trends, but I'm going to do it like a backwards, so please bear with me. And I'm going to take it from here. Trends that we know today that already exist. I do understand that on daily basis, regardless what you do for a living, is basically if you're doing something on payments, it's basically I should order 10,000 more of these plastics from card producer, or how should I implement this SEPA instant payment into the legacy IT system that I have. Those are the things that we do on daily basis, but still I would like to state that these are the things that we are 110% certain that will take place. And these are something that should be on the roadmap already in order to prevent to do everything twice. So basically, digital euro, we state and we're sure that it will come. It's already, for example, Sweden has done it, has been testing it in plenty of different sort of environments, not to go there. China is actually using it as we speak. Digital euro will come due to the fact that there is a need to have public money. And as we know it, the only public money we have currently is cash. And as cash is diminishing from the market, some of the markets in Eurozone, it has to be replaced by something. And it has to be central bank money, and thus it will be a digital euro. And believe you me, it will be there as we go along. So whatever system you're going to develop, whatever system you're going to do, please bear this in mind. Regardless, is it going to be a commercial business success for the banks, but it will be an enabler also for possible new services that we are all able to offer for our customers. Demand for speed. We will come back to this on the further slide as well, but we know that there is a demand for speed and it's happening. It's happening due to the fact there is already like underlying technology that will take us there. And while there's underlying technology that is able to create more speed there will be. Payment regulation, DORA, SEPA instant payment, PSD3, PSR, these are all that we are all aware of, and thus I will not say another word on these ones, but these are the ones that we think of these on a daily basis and love them a lot, and they are basically trends there. But the trend in this section is basically the fact that there is more and more upcoming regulation coming, and that will eat resources from innovation, that sort of stuff. Omni-channel challenge. The thing is, as we have notified, and you have notified possibly yourself as well, like if I'm buying something from the store, I pay it this way. Then I go to the e-store, I pay it this way. Then I go to this e-store, and there is this sort of like a card numbers I have to put there. And there's multiple different sort of experiences for the customers, how to pay, for example, the purchase in different sort of environments. And this is something that we should all look at, and this will be taken care of by somebody in upcoming future. Maybe Kai knows even more about this, but the point is like that there is simply too much UX layers. I'm able to do it, but for example, my mother, who is absolutely fantastic person, struggles on a weekly basis due to the fact that there is just so many different sort of user experiences on payments. Then mobile solutions, they will prevail. As basically Paul has stated, there's less and less plastics in our pockets. That basically means that the payment transaction has to be carried out some other ways and some other means, and it's going to be plastic. And currently, as we speak, there is mobile phones. So there will be mobile wallets as we progress. Then, talk about near future, basically stating that this is something that we can see that will happen. These are things that are already here, and we have the technology and we have the capability to deliver everything on this one. Maybe the fragmentation, maybe the fragmentation to central is fragmentation might be the wrong word because it's actually more like a centralizing. What will happen, as per how we see it, and based on our analysis, is the fact that the central bank will take more and more role on consumer payments, which is going to be really interesting due to the fact that none of us have a bank account in central bank and will not have. But still, as per the digital euro will take place, that practically means that you are able to use your digital euros, for example, through your wallet solution that will be provided you possibly by a commercial bank or some other player, and you can use the public money in the same way you are using your private money today. So that practically means that central bank is taking more role again on consumer payments, as it was in 40 years ago due to the fact that we were everybody using cash, which was the central bank money. Decentralized finance, I do understand that there's different sort of like opinions, for example, concerning Bitcoin and blockchain and that sort of stuff. And banks have been trying to, establish and think like how the blockchain can, what has it to do with the banking world or the finance world? And, most of us have come to decision that concerning the current trends and current services, none. The underlying technology basically doesn't. It will evolve as we go forward, but the current services don't probably need the blockchain or some new technology to prevail. Currently, I'm going to go to the, for example, whatever bank there is and take a mortgage. It doesn't need to be in blockchain. But the point is, concerning new services that there will be, I'm giving you an example just to illustrate the thing. For example, there is a ledger called Aave. I don't know how many of you know, but plenty of course. And it's basically a Finnish name on it. And it's actually sort of like a success story in that sense that it actually, what it does, it sort of like it generates loans to the highly speculative, let's call them Bitcoin markets. And you have to like put, for example, some other ledgers or speculative assets in order as collateral to Aave in order the loan to happen. And then you can use the loans to buy more speculative assets. But regardless of that, Aave just stated that now they currently have 13.4 billion euros active loans. 13.4 billion active loans, worth of euros of active loans. The point is, it's really much money. It's a amount. It's a vast amount of money. So basically, Aave is not lending for my mortgage. It's not basically giving me consumer loans on daily basis to me to buy television, but it has basically tackled a new area. Of course, it has a different sort of regulation. It can do it. Actually, there's no regulation at all as we speak it, so they're almost able to do almost anything. But still, like there has been a new service, and it has been filled by a new kind of IT, a new kind of company, a new kind of financial service that is not a current commercial bank. So that's something to think of. Biometrics will take place. This is so funny. I do understand that even though there is just regulation from European Union stating that we just cannot do this, you cannot have, for example, biometrics that are centralized and that sort of stuff. But it's one of those things, for example, when you think about it like hey guys, let's not use artificial intelligence or anything to do with the development of warfare. So shall we agree on that one? The point is, if one is doing it, everybody is doing it in that sense. You just cannot, while there is a system and there's development going on, all you have to do and all you can do is actually keep on par. And something to do with this, like a strong customer authentication itself. And the thing is, when you really think about it, now when I'm using the like a for like a phrase is card not present and card present, but for example, currently we have solved the issue that if I'm buying something online and the card is not present in the point of sales, I'm able to use the biometric authentication in my phone. That's of course device based, and Apple has promised me really promised me that FBI and CIA and KGB will not get my facial IDs from this device. But regardless, we have basically solved the issue when the card is not present. But when I go to Prisma, I have to actually, I can of course use tap and go, but I still have to use some sort of other means of verification. For example, my PIN code or whatever it can be. I have to verify myself by using some other means than me. But in the upcoming future, empty pockets will prevail. And empty pockets, I mean that whenever I go somewhere, I actually don't need a key. Just by being me, I can verify that I'm me. And that will happen. And we have the technology for it already. It's just a matter of regulation that how we will take it. Ecosystem. Um, ecosystem driving the competition. As per our signals, what will happen in the quite near future is there will be more and more larger entities that form and love you in a ways you don't even know yet. They will offer you credit. They will offer you a car. They will make sure that you are okay. And all you have to do is be part of the ecosystem that you are living in. Ecosystem you want to participate is of course up to you, but the ecosystem will take care of you. Data patterns. We have been talking about artificial intelligence a lot. We are talking about AI, Gen AI in our sessions as well. And we are actually making real stuff about AI as we speak. But in a matter of 5 years, I do recall that must have been 2013. Me and Perttu were working in a bank called X. Let's call it X in this case. And the thing was that we were thinking what sort of like a customer communication should we have in order to make it for me, make it personal. And we knew how to do it basically. That we had a fair idea what sort of messages we should send, for example, to males that are aged between 40 to 42 years old and live in this area. But still, we did not do it. There was multiple reasons why we didn't actually personalize the messages that context, that content. But the point is, in the upcoming future, the artificial intelligence will be there to actually drive not just the decision making, but drive the communication and basically drive the current automation we have today. First, it will basically do care of the automation that we have already, and then after we go along more and more into decision making. And we already know that, for example, artificial intelligence can basically do really deep analysis just based on the factors that there is already can be known in a very high level. So that will be part of the future as we go along. And now, concerning megatrends, these are something that we are sure that will take place, but we just don't know what will be the impact, total impact, for example, on payments or the financial world. For example, societies will change. This is a fact. For example, as stated, there's more and more people in Europe who has not born in Europe. And by taking this into context, for example, there is more and more people in Europe that, for example, religion prohibits to carry out interest. And now, for example, if we have credit cards, that's good. That basically suits plenty of people. But that practically means that as there's more and more people who we want to serve and have more money, that basically means that, for example, we have to take installment cards instead as part of our offering in order to make the interest disappear as part of the refund payments. It's just like a one way of doing it, but new products will come of it. Globalization and nationalism will grow, and from the payments point of view, this practically means that as, for example, in some Scandinavian countries, the using of cash, this practically means that the geopolitical situation as we see it, and as stated in the very first sentences, what I said, that the payment transaction is the bloodline, that practically means that there has to be money in people's pockets and some sort of means of payment. So this also underlines the fact that if there is no cash, or if there is less cash, the digital euro will come sooner later, rather than later. And environmental awareness also, like regardless of what the new president of the United States will do, regardless of what shall happen by his decisions or something, the environmental issue as we see it is not just a generation experience. It's something larger, and it will go on, and it will have impact. And how I see it is sort of like it might be even be it's sort of like a dystopia kind of set. Like when you really think about it, there could be even a regulation that the one who is issuing, for example, a payment device should also make sure that the one who is using the payment device is actually also aware of his or her decisions, that what she or him has been buying. And basically like giving, for example, carbon footprint of everything you buy. And that could also mean from a longer run that somebody could acquire or make sure that the one who has been actually creating the payment instrument in the first place is actually mandated to deliver the information forward, for example, not in a personal level, but in a bigger bunches, in order to make the issuer actually more aware of carbon footprint. Demand for real time, this is going to happen. It's me, myself, and I, and it will not change. It will just go further and further. I want my service now. I want it immediately. And as I want my service immediately, and as I want it now, somebody wants my money now as well. And when we have means to deliver it, we have the IT capability, as we stated, it will happen. IoT, as we will have the real-time economy, as we have the means to deliver it, as we have, for example, 6G, 7G, it's not just the banking system, but it's basically all the data transfer and that sort of stuff. We will have IoT devices here and there more and more. And basically stating that in upcoming future, as we have the possibility to charge on every opening of the door, why would I even buy a microwave? Why I just don't take the microwave from the store, make a contract, take it home, and whenever I push the button, I will pay 0.0001 cents out of every transaction I use the microwave, or fridge, or bicycle. The subscription economy will prevail. And last but not least, trust equation. As stated, there is fantastic players that are taking more and more of the trust of the brand. And from the commercial point of view and from the financial point of view, this is really something that should be highlighted. And basically also stating that, whenever we do any changes on our whatever payment systems, the trust is the key. It's always. And trust can be, it can diminish in a week or in 2 weeks, but still the trust is the most valuable things that, banks can have, or the financial players. So, hey, these were all slides from me, and this was basically end of my presentation. What I would like to leave you is the fact that, as stated, um, there is echoes and there is signals in every place. The guy, Finnish mentalist Pete Poskiparta, stated that all we have to do is actively listen. And I'm absolutely positive that as we actively listen, we will hear even more, and we can make sure that that these things will happen. Hey, thank you so much for this presentation, and thank you for the possibility to talk.